So I ended up getting that job, and now I was working, earning a salary, and the first place that I went to was ZCC. There's nothing painful being told that you should go to university, study hard, and then you'll get a job. And after you buy your dream house, you buy your dream car, and get married, and then live happily after. So those are the things that we are told while growing up. Grow up with this mentality that life will be exactly like that, because education is the key to what? To success. Don't get me wrong, I do believe in education, and I do believe that it is a key to success, but then it needs to be applied. Here's a thin line between getting that chance to apply your knowledge. If you are not given that chance, there's no way to apply that knowledge. Hello, welcome to my world where I tell my truth. My name is Lindy Cherise, and in today's video we're going to do part 2 of the video of why I became a Sangoma and what happened. And in today's video we're going to focus on things that I did to try and get rid of the calling, because I thought there must be a way for me to get rid of this calling, and it only required money. And where was I going to get that money? Graduating, getting that job, and then earning my money, then I will pay my way out of this calling. So did it happen like that? No, it didn't happen like that, because many are our plans, but the only plans that succeed is what God has planned and predestined for our lives in what we're going to do in this world. God's plans for my life didn't include me being an engineer. I mean, that's what I started, but currently I am working as an IT specialist. Finding a job is not an easy thing, especially if you are a graduate. I mean, I've seen with my life, and I am currently seeing with the girls from the NGO who usually went to university, graduated, but then they are not finding employment. So now my plan and my strategy has changed into what does God want you to do in this world. And during that process, when you are looking for a job, it is the most stressful moment, and you usually get hurt. You are sad, you get into a depression because you feel like I've put the effort, I went to university, I've studied, but why am I not finding a job? And this is the moment that the devil uses the most to stress us, to really put us into a depression where we will look for a job and not find something, and we will start blaming people and say maybe this and this in our family, maybe this ancestor is not happy, or maybe this family member is bewitching us. There's just so much we can put and say that's the reason why we are not getting a job. But then it all boils down to what God has planned for our life. And it's even worse when you do not know about God, because you will go and look for all these other solutions instead of going to God and asking Him to help you in that case. So I got to a point in my life where I just said, you know what, I heard about praying and fasting. Maybe let me just pray and fast so that I can get this job. I remember going into a fasting. I didn't even know much about fasting. Yes, I went to church while growing up, but I didn't know much about fasting. So all I knew is that you just don't eat for certain days and you keep asking God for whatever you want. I didn't know about praise and worship. I didn't know about praising God. I didn't know about gratitude. All I knew is that I'm not going to eat, and then I'm going to ask God for the same thing until I get a job. So I went into a fast. That's why I even believe in fasting so much, because that time I didn't even know God, but then I asked God during that time, and someone came to our house and said there's a learnership that was offered. I need to go into the community hall, and from there, that's when I ended up in a learnership which was IT, totally different from what I've studied, and ended up in a learnership where I was studying IT. And I went through that learnership as if I had a degree with people who had degrees in IT. I was the only person who didn't have any knowledge of IT. So those who are in IT would understand that you have to understand simple things like your concept of C++, your concept of variables, database. I didn't know any of those things, but I just worked hard and worked hard up until I got offered a position in a company called Sybase. So I started working there as in a learnership, and then it got into a permanent contract. So that was the first time I got myself a job. Now the plan was in motion. My plans didn't change. I needed to go and find a solution of stopping this calling. The devil is always looking for someone to kill and destroy. And now when you are desperate and looking for that job, I mean, you are looking for a way to fend for your family. You are looking for a way for you to succeed. So at that point, this is the most important thing in your life. So the devil will use that opportunity to actually give you suggestions like go to a Sangoma, or even go to initiation school, thinking that when you go to initiation school and be a Sangoma, then after you can come back and actually pursue your career. Now, the last video that I posted about Usis Kuku, it shows that this lady is struggling in her career, is struggling being a Sangoma because of believing in this spirit. So you have to go back straight to God and ask him for the plan that he has for you, because if he has a plan for you, that plan will succeed, but only if you go back to God and ask him. So I ended up getting that job, and now I was working, earning a salary, and the first place that I went to was ZCC. Guys, I do not understand ZCC. I know people from ZCC are actually people full of love. I mean, these are the people who are very calm. I mean, you would walk at night, and when you see a person from ZCC, you wouldn't run because you know that they are peaceful in nature. But I do not understand what they are serving. I don't know if it's in an occult or if it's a church, or if they are using the Bible, or if they are using ancestors. But then what I know, so I just share my experience with ZCC. So I went to ZCC trying to look for a solution. The very first thing that they did, they put me into some prophet who actually said that there is a way for me to stop this calling, and that way was for me to go buy 2-liter Coke. Was it 1-liter Coke? Yes, 1-liter Coke, and then go break that Coke in the middle of the road. And they also gave me the tea, and they advised that I should go into their steaming room, and I went into that steaming room, came out, and then that was the solution that they gave to me. The second solution that they offered was for me to go to Impocho. Impocho is like a celebration or some ceremony that is done. So you usually go into a certain family, and that family, that celebration is actually there to make sure that their things go well. So I do not have full details of what they do, but one thing that I captured that day was they actually use the Bible and also ancestors, because early hours of the morning they actually told the family to go and appease the ancestors and talk to the ancestors. And I knew from that day that God cannot be mixed with ancestors. I knew from that day that it can only be God, it cannot be Urikanyane, it cannot be any other person. You have to only look up to God. God must be the only God that you serve. ZCC people can actually explain more what the church is all about. Are they worshiping God, or are they worshiping Ulikhanyana, or what is it that they are actually worshiping? Are they combining both the Bible and also the ancestors? Because I really do not know. But what I knew from that solution, that it wasn't going to work, because you do not mix God with that. And then I started having recurring car accidents. Guys, you know the accidents where the car will be destroyed, but then you will come out okay. And it kept on happening over and over and again. And I knew that time that, okay, it's because of this calling, I must go to initiations. I wasn't going to give up and just go there because of these car accidents. So I then continued with my plan of finding other solutions, and nothing worked. I went to different Sangomas, but they kept on saying that you have to go to initiation school. So that also didn't work. The only solution that works when it comes to stopping this calling is God himself, and nothing else but God himself. Leviticus 19 verse 31 to 32 says, "Do not turn to mediums or seek out spirits, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." So God even says in his word that we shouldn't go and look for other solutions, but the only solution that is there for us to even stop all these things, the callings, the things that are happening in our lives, the bad things that are happening in our lives. And do not be deceived. As Christians, we are supposed to go through persecution. We are supposed to go through trials and tribulations. So do not think just because you know God, you will not go through trials and tribulations. We all go through trials and tribulations. So guys, this is the solution to stop this calling or all these things that will happen. Do not go to any other person or any other way or spirit. Go straight to God and read your Bible, and God promised that he will be with us, and I believe he will be with us. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the bell notification, subscribe, and also comment so that we can have this conversation. Thank you so much for watching.